Alright, hey guys. So, last weekend was Sonic the Comic-Con! Hooray! Yeah, it was actually pretty good, melodramatic hoorays aside. Yeah, so I figured what I would do is I'd just do a video showing you some of the things I picked up and telling you a little bit about the day. Okay, so let's start off with this then. Sonic the Comic-Con, as if you don't know what it is, there used to be a comic called Sonic the Comic, which was around in the 90s. And then it got cancelled some point in the early 2000s. And since then there hasn't been a single issue. Now, a couple of the artists and writers do appear at some conventions like Summer of Sonic, and next year they're appearing at another one, which I think is called Western Super Sonic. I'm not 100% sure on that title, but I know a couple of them are appearing there. So there hasn't been a proper physical issue since then, unless you include the free gift, which was at last year's Summer of Sonic. So the idea was there was going to be a Kickstarter campaign, and if they made enough money, they were going to hold a convention for Sonic the Comic, and they were going to invite several different people down, and it was basically going to be a comic convention for Sonic the Comic, the first time in I don't know how many years it was since they had their own booth at Bristol Comic Con several decades ago, because it really has been that long. And anyway, the Kickstarter reached its goal within the first 24 hours and more than doubled its goal since then. So, because I was one of the backers and I actually was able to pick the highest backing tier, so yay for me, I got a couple of rewards, and this is the first one. This is actually a t-shirt, and I'm pretty sure everybody that attended managed to get one of these. And it came in two colours. There was either yellow or blue, and you had your choice. So I picked the yellow one just because I thought it looked slightly more cooler. And then at the end of the day they were selling off t-shirts, but I didn't really want another one. I just really like this one. So yeah, that's my first thing, a t-shirt. And the design is actually Fleetway Supersonic, and I really like it. So yes, t-shirt. Okay, the next thing are these. And these are little postcards. These are actually being given away by Carl Flint, who is one of the artists, and this is some of his work. It's a cover image. And Carl Flint was there, and I met him, had a really good conversation with him. And he was actually a really nice guy, and I've actually been in touch with him several years ago. I got in touch with him just so I really liked some of his artwork, and I just wondered if it was actually the Carl Flint. And it turned out it was. So yeah, we had a bit of a conversation several years ago. So this was kind of a meeting that was well over 10 years in the making. I can turn this over. It has a small sample of his work on the back, and basically here it says where it's from, what the comic was and what the strip was, his name, and he put his contact details there. So yeah, that was pretty cool, I thought. Alright, now let's get on to these things. What are these? Well, these are wristbands, and everybody that entered the convention managed to get one. And if you can have a look there, just wait for it to focus. You can see a little Sonic logo and Sonic the Comic Con 2014. And they came in three colours. They came in yellow, pink and blue. And at the end of the day they said, oh, we've got a couple of bands left over, so if anybody wants to pick up an extra one they can do. And I went there, and unfortunately they'd run out of blue ones, but I was able to pick up a pink one instead. Alright then, so let's go on to comic books next. Now these are comic books from my collection, and like I said, there was quite a lot of people were there, so I decided to get some signatures. So what I'll do is I'll just go through the signatures and give a rough chat as to what happened when I was there. Okay, so Nigel Kitchen signed it. I actually got the signature a couple of years ago on this one. But yeah, Nigel Kitchen was there and he recognised me. And we actually had a good conversation, and there was something that we actually questioned him about, me and a friend of mine. Should I mention it here? Yeah, I will do. Basically, there's a bit of a there's a rumour that there was going to be a Sonic and a Judge Dredd crossover in an issue of Sonic the Comic when this other Fleetway publication shut down. It was a Judge Dredd magazine, and Nigel Kitchen was able to shed some light on that. I'm probably going to write about it actually later on the Sonic Stadium, so if you just keep refreshing that, you'll probably find it eventually. It's probably going to go up at some point in the next week or so, but yeah, it should be quite an interesting read, that one. Let's see who else signed it on the day. Let's see. Oh yeah, Nigel Dobbin. Again, this was a signature from a long time ago. Nigel Dobbin actually jokes that I'm his #1 customer, although he doesn't understand why, because a lot of the pages I buy from him he says are his worst works, but I just really like him. But I think the reason why he says, why do you want that, is because once he was selling this pin-up from this parody of the Spice Girls called the Spice Maidens, and it was a picture that got tons of complaints from fans of the series who actually hated them. And I think his response was, when I said, "Oh, can I buy that one?" was, "Why? What's wrong with you? It's a terrible piece of artwork." And those are his own words about his own stuff. And I said, "I just really like it. I just really want it." So he said, "Oh, okay then." And yeah, we had a good chat, and it was good to catch up with him again. I'd like to say I'm pretty good friends with him, actually. I've met him a couple of times, and we always have a really good chat. And I'm actually doing something based on one of his scripts, which is also one of Nigel Kitchen's scripts, actually. If you go to Sonic Stadium, I'm doing a series called My Favourite Fleetway, and I'm actually basically deconstructing a strip called Village of the Damned, which, if you're a fan of classic horror movies like what's it called? American Werewolf in London, or I can't remember the name of this one. The Wicker Man, and a couple of other movies like Dracula, The Evil Dead. It's probably worth a read because he actually puts in a lot of horror references into this one Knuckles strip, and it's one of my favourites, and I just really like it. And he seemed quite appreciative of that as well. I told him about it, and he said he would give it a read later on. Okay, now down here is Ferran's signature, and I can't pronounce his surname. I won't even try to. This was actually from last year. Ferran attended Summer of Sonic in 2013, but he was there on the day as well. And Ferran is one of the nicest people you can ever meet. He's really, really receptive. He gives you loads of advice on if you've got an artwork question, and he does some absolutely amazing stuff. And I've got something to show you later on, actually. But yeah, Ferran was there, and he actually recognised me. He came over, gave me a hug, and shook my hand. And he was just really, really nice on the whole day. He was really good, and a lot of people really, really liked him. He was actually quite a nice guy. Okay. So, over the stickers, we've got another signature here, and this one's actually Carl Flint's signature, and this was, like I say, well over 10 years in the making, this meeting. So yeah, it was finally nice to meet him, and again, he was a really nice gentleman. I had a good conversation as well about the whole mystery regarding the Judge Dredd Sonic crossover. He was able to shed a little bit of light on that. But yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Really, really liked meeting him. And, yes, another one. Here we've got John Howard, 2014. Now, John Howard actually did the Shinobi strips, and he also did Eternal Champions. And wow, all I can say is his artwork is incredible. He hasn't drawn Shinobi or Eternal Champions for years now, and he took to it like riding a bike. Some of the stuff he produced on the day was absolutely incredible. It was flawless. It was absolutely flawless. And he told me a lot about how he actually worked back in the day, and he said that what he would do is the scriptwriter for his issues would send him videotapes of Jackie Chan movies, and he would say, "Oh, watch it at this point in the video, make it as intense as that." So he'd have to watch various comics, comic strips. He'd have to watch various movies and pause them at certain points, and he would say, "Oh, could you pause it at this moment? I want it to look like this kick that Jackie Chan's doing." And the actual scriptwriter himself was also quite good at various martial arts, so he would record himself and take pictures doing various kung fu movements. And he would send them to John Howard, and it would be like, "Oh, could you sort of do this in the script?" And John Howard actually did that, and it was really cool. And bear in mind, this was the 90s, so you had no digital playback. It was all analog. So he would have to watch it via videotapes, and if you pause a VHS, it's not good. You get like static everywhere. You get sometimes you get a random distortion line going all the way through it. And photos, no digital photography. Unless you had a Polaroid, you had to wait until that film was fully used up. So yeah, kind of expensive as well. And over here, we've got another signature. This is from Kev Hopgood. Now, Kev Hopgood did very, very little on the comic, but his contribution was actually pretty significant. It's this. Yeah, he was actually the cover artist for the very first issue. He's also done a lot of other stuff, like he's credited as being the creator of War Machine, but I know some people are going to want me to mention that actually he's co-creator. Yeah, co-creator, but he is quite responsible for that. And finally, and this was very excited for this one, I got Richard Elson to sign it. And Richard Elson was a really nice guy. I had a really good conversation with him. I bought one page of his artwork for a while ago, and I told him, and I was very honest, I said, "The artwork I bought from you, it's not my favourite script ever. It's not my favourite story ever, and it's probably not even one of my favourite pieces of artwork that you've done. But the reason why I wanted it and why I liked it was because the whole artwork, if you took away the script and the text and the dialogue, the whole artwork told a story, and you could follow it really easily. And he was actually quite flattered at that. He shook my hand and said, "That's the best compliment you could give me." And I was quite pleased at that. Actually, I didn't really know how he'd react to that, but yeah, I told him that, and he seemed very, very pleased at that. And we actually then did a deal. Me and this other person who is there, we spoke to him about some other work that he'd done previously, and what he's going to do, hopefully, is he's going to send me and this other person some very, very old bits of work that he used to do, and this is completely for free. And there's one condition: we compile it all together and we upload it. Now, I'm not going to mention what it is just now, but what I will say is, within maybe the next month or two, keep an eye on the Sonic Stadium website, and it's probably going to go up, and it should be something really cool. If you're a fan of Sonic the Comic, you should definitely check it out, because it's going to be really awesome. Okay, so yeah, that's all the signatures I got on here. Should probably go through a couple of the others. That's Lou Stringer. I met him a few years back at Bristol Comic Convention. Again, really lucky to meet that. And this scribble down here, I think it actually goes that way. That's actually the signature of Peter Richardson. He's the guy who did the Streets of Rage artwork, and yeah, I had a very good chat with him a couple of years back. He's actually a really nice person, and some of the artwork he's done is incredible. So yeah, that was issue 1 signed. Okay, so I'll go through the rest of these pretty quickly. But yeah, again, this was one of those issues where I want as many people as possible to sign it. So quite a lot of the artists have actually signed here where the free gift was. I do still have this free gift, it's just not attached right now because I just don't want to risk damaging the issue really, but yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much where they all sign it, except for Richard Elson, who decided to sign it right across there, like a boss. But yeah, really pleased with that one. Here's another issue where I'm trying to get as many signatures on it as possible. So you can probably see there's John Howard there, Carl Flint there, Richard Elson, Nigel Kitchen, Nigel Dobbin, and Ferran's just down here too. Okay, so I also took a poster mag, and this is quite an interesting one. On the front, it's John Howard's work, and we've got up here John Howard 2014. And on the back, we've got some artwork by Carl Flint, which is actually advertised in the next one. So I showed this to Carl Flint and actually asked him to sign it as well, and he did. So yeah, quite cool one. It's actually a pretty decent strip, this one as well. It's really cool. And yeah, probably been sent various videos to watch while he was doing this one. And here's another one, and again, this one's I want as many people as possible to sign it. So we got Nigel Dobbin up here. We got Richard Elson there, Ferran's just down here, and this is one that he actually signed at the convention, so it's dated 2014. You got Kevin Hopgood there, and John Howard there, and got Nigel Kitchen down there, and just down here is Carl Flint. And then we've got this. Okay, so this was something I showed Richard Elson, and when I took this out, he had such a confused look on his face and actually said, "Why do you want me to sign that?" Now, this was actually something which came with the News of the World a long time ago. And if you look at the back, there's actually a small comic strip here. And it is Richard Elson's artwork, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's my artwork, all right." And this is actually based on that thing that he's going to do for us. You can probably guess what it is just by saying this, but by me pointing this out. And we showed him this, asked him about it, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've got all those at home." And that led on to the conversation we had and the little deal we did. But yeah, and he also said that yeah, he'd sign it for me if I wanted it signed. So I thought, yeah, why not? Yeah, I also took my yearbook there, and this was something I yeah, it's actually something that came to me at the last minute to take. Yeah, I managed to get Richard Elson to sign it, and also John Howard as well. Why is that? Well, it actually contains some of their artwork in here. Now, I'll show you John Howard's first of all. Yep, here we go. Oh, that's not. That's Sonic and some random pop stars who I don't know anything about. And there's Michael Jackson for some reason has turned up. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, this was actually quite an interesting one, because when I showed this to John Howard, he actually told me a bunch of stuff about it, and he said that he wasn't the only artist to work on this, even though he's the only one credited down here. He actually worked on this with his brother. I think he said it was the first strip that both he and his brother actually worked on together. And I'm kind of annoyed actually that his brother didn't get credited in this. And in fact, very few people got credited in this whole yearbook. And that'll bring me on to another point later. But yeah, I really like this one. I think it's a really cool strip. I love like the weird mists here. How it's like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, you know when you see those paintings from ancient Japan and it shows like the winds, like these curved lines that are sort of moving around. It's like that. It just looks really cool. What was really interesting was, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here which is uncredited. In fact, if you look here, there's no credits at all for this particular strip, and down here as well, there's no list of artists or writers. And John Howard took the issue and he went through it and he said, oh yeah, the artwork on this one's by this guy, the artwork on this one's by this guy, the script on this one's by this guy. And unfortunately, I've actually forgotten the names of the people he said, because I wasn't taking notes there, and like I said, it was so relaxing, I just didn't film, I barely filmed anything. And he basically was pointing out, and he was saying who did what, and he was actually giving the credits for this stuff. So I really need to get back in touch with him just to confirm it, just purely so that information is out there, so that the correct artists are finally credited. Alright then, and another thing that us Kickstarter backers got was a physical issue of Sonic the Comic. And yeah, it's not technically Sonic the Comic, it's Sonic the Comic-Con, but hey, who cares. And again, I got everybody on the who was there to sign it. John Howard's up here, Nigel Dobbins along the side, Richard Elson's here, Nigel Kitchen, Ferran, and Carl Flint's just down there. And what was really cool is they actually this came with a free gift, and what else is it going to be? It's going to be Chewits. And if you didn't collect the comic, yeah, put it like this: there was a time when it was rare for there to be an issue of Sonic the Comic that didn't have a free packet of Chewits with it, so this was actually quite fun. And the script, in fact, is really, really good. I was quite surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It's basically I don't want to say a piss take, but it's actually kind of mocking the convention itself. Sonic's at a convention along with the heroes, and all these people come up to it, and Sonic just doesn't want to be there. He hates the idea of being there. He just wants to be out. I just think it's really funny. And another thing as well, certain tiers of backers, and I was one of them as well, managed to actually get their likeness put into this particular issue. And here's the problem: I don't know which one I'm supposed to be, because I originally sent in, I don't have a fan character, I've never ever had one. And then I remembered about 6-7 years ago, someone drew me a fan character, and it was kind of like this weird badger character thing. So I dug it up and I sent it a couple of weeks later as a reference point, because I originally sent a picture of myself and then I sent a picture of this badger character guy. And on the day, I originally thought that this guy was me, but apparently it's not, and I'm not 100% sure which character is me in this. I've been told it's this guy here, apparently, because somebody said, oh no, actually that's you. But yeah, I'm not 100% certain on this one. And yeah, and here was a surprise as well. Tracy Yardley actually did a pin-up artwork for this, and it was quite surprising because this is actually based on Fleetway Knuckles, because there's a strip where Knuckles goes out on an adventure and he wears like this green scarf around him. I don't know why, it just looks pretty cool. So yeah, that was a big surprise. And there was a pin-up here by Ferran, and he actually had the original pencils there as well, which was really awesome. And Michael Stevenson did a pin-up as well. And what's quite cool is we got a What's to Come in Sonic the Comic Online. We've got another strip here. This one's actually quite good because of some of the really funny artwork. It's basically Amy retelling a couple of stories from past Sonic the Comic to some kids. Oh, and on the back, and I really missed a trick with this, and I can't believe I did. They actually have a speedline section. So what they did was they got the previous artists and writers who were actually attending to write something, and they put it in the letters. So the letters to the comic are actually from the various artists and writers. and a lot of people were actually going up to them and asking them to actually sign their letters, and I thought that looks so awesome, and afterwards I was really kicking myself that I didn't do that. But yeah, this is actually a really, really nice touch. I really like this, and I love the fact that Carl Flint here has actually put age 8 3/4 down here, because quite a lot of people would send in their ages and stuff like, oh, I'm 8 2/4, 8 1/2, or 8 1/4, stuff like that. And on the back we've got this, advertisements for Sonic the Comic Online. I really like this artwork. Okay, moving swiftly along, we have this, and this is artwork that I picked up from Nigel Dobbin, and I really love Nigel Dobbin's artwork. I really love his use of colour. I think it's really, really good. I really like this one. It's one of those pages that tells a story without there being any text or dialogue on it. And I just really like the use of colour here, especially the backgrounds up here. Yeah, there's not really much detail going on, but there doesn't really have to be. It just looks really cool. Yeah, we've got Dr. Zachary here before he becomes part robot. And we've got Knuckles here looking grrr. But yeah, I really, really like this page, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted it. And then next up, we've got something very special. Richard Elson was there, and he was selling artwork too, and he was selling it for unbelievably cheap prices. Let's just put it like that. And I really liked this page, mainly for this panel up here of Sonic and Tails flying through the clouds. Now, this one's really, really cool for a reason which will become obvious in a moment. The script on this particular issue was done by Nigel Kitchen. However, the colours were done by Nigel Dobbin, and the pencils and the pens and before you actually colour it all in, I'm not too sure what it's called, the pens and the pencils, is it? They was done by Richard Elson. So what Richard Elson did was he brought this all these pages along, and he got Nigel Dobbin and Nigel Kitchen to both sign it, and he put his signature on there as well. And it was, wow, when are you going to get another chance to get something like that? So, yep, I picked this one up, and I picked up another one for somebody else on the day as well, and I sent that to them. So, yeah, they were quite happy with that. And I really, really like this. Again, I'm a big fan of Nigel Dobbin's colours. I love Nigel Kitchen's script, and Elson's work is just sublime, basically. It's really, really good. But I mainly wanted this one just for this panel up here, because I really like it. I just think it's really, really good. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, nothing really much else to say on that one. Just that it's absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. And on the back, we just got a couple of details about the actual page itself. STC. I guess it's from issue. Let's see. Issue 113, page 3. I wonder what that's there for. Unless it was unless it was going to be a canvas that he changed his mind on. But yeah, I just really like this. I think it's a really cool page. Okay, and finally, there's something else. Now, because I picked the highest tier on the Kickstarter backer thing, I got something a little extra special. I got a special commission from one of the artists. And Ferran, who I've mentioned before is a really, really nice guy, was actually the artist that did my commission. And first of all, actually what I'll do first of all, I'll just show you the pencils that he did. Yeah, first of all he showed me these, and these were some sketches that he'd done. And he said this was the initial one he did. And it's of Sonic and Tails together running through, well, basically running off for another adventure, I guess. And he did this, and he said to me that he wasn't very pleased with the composition of it. He said it didn't look right. So then he did this one, and he said for some reason, he couldn't really put his finger on why. It looks better than when they're running from left to right. And again, he signed them down here for me. So yeah, this was what he did for me basically. He did those and called me over and said, here's your Kickstarter award. And he actually said, oh, I'm really, really glad it's you guys that I've done these for. And there was somebody else there as well who he knew who'd also got one. And this is what he finally did. Yeah, this is a special, one-of-a-kind piece of artwork that Ferran, well, basically did for me. And I was blown away by this. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. No, it's not coloured in, but that's okay. I don't particularly care or mind about that. Then again, neither of them was, because Ferran's mainly an artist who uses pen and ink. He doesn't really do colouring much. But what can I say? It's absolutely incredible. I really like this. I was not expecting it to look like this at all when I said, oh, I don't mind what you do, but Sonic and Tails or Sonic and some Badniks, that'd be fine. But just go with whatever you want to do, really. I really don't mind. And this is what he produced, and I love this. I think this is incredible. And you can actually see there is some like small pencil marks still on here from where he did his initial outlines of the stuff. But wow, this is amazing, and I absolutely love this. And if you check Sonic Stadium, I will be posting an image of the other commissioned artwork that he did for the other person, and it is incredible. I've got to admit, it's really, really cool. Okay guys, I guess that's all I can say now. If the video hasn't gone on for too long, what I'll do is I'll put on the end of it a bunch of the raw footage that I took from Sonic the Comic Con. There's not very much of it, but you should hopefully get an idea as to what it was like from there. If not, thanks very much for watching guys, and hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.